From a guy who was throwing for 79% completion percentage, and I think he was just over 50 in our game. We had the 2 picks, and Darren made a nice break on the 1 ball, and Leon makes an athletic play on a ball. We only got him on the ground once and didn't hit him quite as much, but in that offense, he's throwing from 10 yards deep once he gets that snap, and it's hard to get there, and we got to do a better job there, but I think Andrew's done a nice job at the Aztec, and Khalid Stevens has done a nice job. He rotates in there with Andrew, and then up front, I think B.J. Williams played probably as well as any of them did up there, but Neil Spencer keeps coming on, and he's a guy that gives you a little more strength in the middle, and he's done a nice job.
And, before we, get on the defense for that last touchdown, I don't want to put you in a position where you have to comment on officiating. Man, it's part of the game. But when you look at the film and you see Jose gets shoved in the back right into Miles Burris,
right,
and that allows the guy to break free on the game-winning TD, it probably makes you feel terrible to see something like that happen on a winning team. But it wasn't like your guys didn't execute and were out of position on the play so much as it was where, a play went uncalled and they got a break. Okay, so fine, I won't make you comment on it.
No, I don't care.
Okay,
I really don't care. You feel bad. Number one, Brandon Davis did a great job of breaking on the ball. And he was a step behind the guy a little bit, but he went after it. He didn't play safe. And you don't want to play safe, because that's when you get beat. And, he misses the tackle, and Jose's in position, like you said, and he did get shoved in the back. And, I don't know if I was watching the game. I don't know if that official was watching the game at the time, but it was a pretty damn good game. And so he
seemed like a tough game to stop paying attention to at that point.
Well,
yeah.
You would think, and I know they're not perfect. We're not perfect. I mean, we had opportunities, and we had a big-time coaching mistake, which is my fault when we get the substitution penalty on offense, and it goes from 3rd and 2 to 3rd and 7 and puts you, behind the 8 ball a little bit. So, we didn't have a great night as a coach, and he obviously didn't have a good night.
All right, we will get your questions here now at the Claim Jumper in La Mesa Grossmont Center. The microphone will be passed around after we take this short break. The Aztec Coaches Show, Chris Ello, along with the star of our show, Mr. Brady Hoke. Game starts at 5 o'clock, but the new tradition, or the return of the tradition, Coach, starts at 3 o'clock.
Yes.
And we know that a lot of people come out to the game early, you enjoy the day, you're going to tailgate. So make sure you get out to the stadium by 3 o'clock and get on over to Section E and F and take part in the Warrior Walk, which was a nice success on the home opener against Nicholls State. And I don't know that the fans really understand just how much it meant to the players, because the players haven't stopped talking about it. They can't wait to do it again this Saturday.
Well, you believe me, we're happy to be at home, and part of that happy feeling is to be involved with the Warrior Walk. And I can tell you, I want to thank all those who were there, and hopefully that will continue to grow because it means an awful lot to the players. I can't tell you how many of them have said something to me about, Coach, that was really neat. And
yeah.
That, this is a mental game, and it's part of how you feel about yourself sometimes. And believe me, as hard as these guys work and academic side of it and our expectations are, they've done a great job, and go out there and support them, and that's important.
So everything really gets started Saturday afternoon at the Q at 3 o'clock, Section E and F for the Warrior Walk. And then, of course, kickoff will be at 5 o'clock on Saturday. All right, we have some questions here for the head coach of the San Diego State Aztecs, Brady Hoke. We are live. Claim Jumper, Grossmont Center. Sir, you are batting leadoff. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, Coach.
How are you?
My name's Mark. I'm from Lakeside. I wanted to ask you about last Saturday's game, but what happened on Sunday with Coach D'Antonio, you've got a really stressful job. You want to build a winner. We all want you to win. How does your staff handle all the stress?
You know what? that young lady right there, my wife, I've got the best wife in the world. And
hey, let's hear it for Laura. Where'd she go?
She's behind the pole.
She's ducking over there. There she goes. Yeah, okay.
But, you know, I learned a long time ago, you know, the gratification that I get from coaching is being with those kids and being around them and helping them with the life lessons that football teaches, and that's where I put all my energy, you know, and winning is part of that. That's fine, but just being around those kids, that's to me. And I think when you do that, you know, it kind of keeps it all in perspective.
Yeah, that's got to be the key, man, and up and down seasons that you have. A Michigan State's coach who Mike was referring to, D'Antoni's okay, I think.
Yeah, he's fine, yeah.
After that
Mark's a good man.
Thrilling win they had over Notre Dame, and poor guy had a heart attack at the couple hours after the game. At least he had a heart attack after a win.
Well, yeah.
You know, I feel bad if they had lost that game. All right, let's move on here at the Claim Jumper. Hello, yes, sir.
I'm Quentin from Aztec. I want to know what it takes to become an Aztec football player.
Well, you got to have, number one, a passion for the game. That's a great question. You've got to be tough, and you got to understand that you also have to have character, and the academic side is a part of it too.
Yeah, I think that's the big one, Quentin. Make sure you take care of those grades, because without those, you can have all the rest of the stuff, and it's not going to get you there. Good luck. All right, more questions for the coach, Brady Hoke.
Hey,
Yes.
Coach, Roger from Carlsbad.
Yeah, Roger.
Hey, first of all, where'd you get that guy that can nail the football into the end zone every time you kick off? I love it.
Mexico.
Yeah.
To be honest, yeah. No, Southwest Junior College. And Abel is, I was just talking to Jim Marsh. He's been a guy that's done an unbelievable job helping us field position-wise, especially from a defensive perspective. You know, it's kind of nice where they have to defend 80 yards every time he kicks off.
The second question was, do you think Rocky's 3-3-5 is going to get enough pressure on the quarterback? We didn't see that much happen in the last game.
And you got to look at the offense you played. To be honest with you, you know, that quarterback's really catching the ball at 7 and throwing the ball at 10. And I'm talking yards from the line of scrimmage. So it's a little bit of a different animal, you know. And then you always have to look at routes and route combinations, and are they down the field a little more, or are they going to be an offense that is a little bit more West Coasty or spread, or it's all the quick throws, and they were a bubble team and a jet team and those kind of things, and it's hard to get there then. But I think the defensive package itself, believe me, it gave them more troubles. I talked to Coach Pinko after the game for a while, and he felt very fortunate to get out of that stadium.
You know, the one thing, too, Coach, that we've been talking about the first couple of weeks about your defense was doing a good job in terms of limiting time of possession, limiting yardage in the first 2 games, but hadn't come up with really any turnovers. You had just the one, and that got lost a little bit in the shuffle the other night, but you guys come up with 3 turnovers in the second half of that game at Missouri, and maybe that kind of kicks your defense off in terms of creating those mistakes, which is so important to Rocky and to this club. Well,
there's no question, you know. You look at turnover margin in the NFL and in college football, and you know, the Saints had the best turnover margin a year ago in the National Football League, and they won the Super Bowl. And when you look at conference championships at the end of the season, you look up turnover margins, and I'll promise you, whoever won the championship is going to be in the top 3 in their league in turnover margin.
Yep, it was a good game for the defense in terms of getting that ball free and getting it back to the offense, and hopefully that kind of kicks you guys off in that category because that's crucial. All right, a couple more questions here for the coach from the Claim Jumper. Yes, sir.
Hey, Coach.
Hey.
Hayden from La Mesa. When you think of the Aztecs, what's the first word that comes to your head?
That's a good question.
Who let him in?
The first thing I think about with this team is accountability, and the accountability that they have shown to this point they have for each other. And that means guys aren't doing things to cause distractions for our football team, and then the way that we want to practice every day and we want to prepare.
Good question, Caden.
Yep.
I'm glad I didn't have to try to answer that one. That hits you right there. You got to come up with something there. All right, here's our closer here. Tiger.
Hey, Coach.
How can your name be Tiger after that game last Saturday night? We're going to have to change your name to Aztec.
Yeah.
Can't be letting you come on here asking questions as Tiger.
78-mile-an-hour fastball.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
No, it's a joke between me and him, Coach.
Okay.
But you want to ask something? Okay. I'm always throwing you softballs and stuff like that.
Right.
My concern is for the next game. I made what I've done personally is put this game behind me.
Right.
Okay. So I've checked out. I've checked these guys out. I think they've lost 2 games, but they've lost them very close.
Sure.
And they played and they play like what's a good word? Like men. And this is something that it's something that let's say that Tiger's giving you a warning. Watch out for these guys.
Okay.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
And one other question: do you know anybody that has the film of last week's game? Because I would love to see it. I tell you.
Yeah. Well, which our game? Yeah, I know a few people who have it.
Yeah, there was a lot of Aztec fans, unfortunately, didn't get to see the game because it wasn't televised. I trust you all enjoyed the broadcast on AM 600 Kogo, at least until the final minute or two.
We had a lot of great fans there. It was neat to see that section up there of red and where we came in and out of the tunnel, and believe me, you could hear them. And so that was neat because that was a pretty full stadium.
Yeah, it was a great atmosphere, great scene in Missouri. I don't think there's another gold T-shirt available in the entire Midwest. They had all were sold and being worn that night to support Missouri. A lot of stunned Missouri fans for most of that football game Saturday night. All right, last question over here.
Zachary from Chula Vista. I was wondering if Coach Long had any changes to the 3-3-5 after that game.
No, not really. I mean, we're going to do what we do, and what you find out, Zachary, is offenses prepare a little differently, and because it is unique and because of the different angles that people come from, and what it makes an offense do is really kind of shrink down their playbook, and usually by the middle of the first quarter or the end of the first quarter, Coach Long's got a pretty good idea of what people want to try and accomplish, and then he'll react to that.
Done a pretty good job of doing that so far this year. Coach, we're going to let you go. We've got a special guest coming up in our final segment tonight. But before we do that, our California Bank and Trust Student Athlete of the Week this week was indeed Ronnie Hillman, coming up with the 228-yard performance the other night. 9.9 yards per carry. I guess that's what happens when you go 75 for a touch and go 93 for a touch. But if you haven't seen this young man, you're going to get your opportunity to see him Saturday night against Utah State at 5 o'clock. Everybody, don't forget the Warrior Walk at 3 o'clock out in the stadium parking lot. Coach,
and
yes,
one other
sir.
thing, Chris, our honorary...
Sure show, whatever you need, buddy.
No, I don't know about that. But in the honorary Warrior this week is Dennis Shaw. So he'll be planting that spear in the middle of the field.
Dennis Shaw, who I was trying to look this up earlier, I think once threw for 9 touchdowns in a game at San Diego State. That's just something that seems almost impossible to do. Coach, good luck Saturday night against Utah State, man. We'll be there. Looking forward to it.